Hi, I always forget something in these videos. So one other little thing that might come in handy is as of, I think, Illustrator CC, they began allowing or providing a shortcut key combination with your selection tool to be able to go backwards in layers behind an object. I think that mainly works if they're not grouped. So none of these shapes are grouped here, but you will see that, oh, it's a little frustrating trying to grab this line, this path, because this is actually a yellow circle on top set to multiply. So the blending modes can make it, tricky to try to select something, but you can see it right there. While holding the control key down while I select something and I click once on that object, now you'll see if you keep that command key or control key held down once you've clicked on an object, you'll see this little arrow next to your selection key, your selection cursor, and that is indicating that it will start to step down below your cursor. Wherever you're clicking, it'll cycle down and choose the next object behind the one you've chosen. So now I'm going to click the button on this path again, and now it's allowing me to select that path. If I hover over this again and I click one more time, it'll drill one object below. And it'll keep cycling back to the top, clicking again, back to the path, click again. Although sometimes it's confusing what I'm selecting with the curve there. But it'll cycle basically through these. If I'm in the right place on a path, it'll go back. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, maybe it doesn't work over a path. It seems to be vibrating and flipping out on me. So if you're on a path, that might bugger you up a little bit. But an object or a fill works beautifully just to go one step down. Sometimes you can just see a little bit of something poking through. Works great for text objects. Sometimes text fields around the text object obscure your ability to select through them to something behind, and it gets really frustrating. So just holding this down will help you get past that text object and select what's behind it. Then you can either bring it to the front or move it out of the way with your key combinations. By the way, if you didn't know, I'm sure most of you do, using your keyboard shortcuts, your keyboard to nudge, you can use the nudge tool, your arrows to nudge up, but if you hold the shift key, it'll move it in bigger increments. Although right here, it's such a small increment that you're not able to see it. Let's go 1 point. So here's a nudge one at a time. If I hold the shift key down, shift is a wonderful little modifier key that is like the constrain key. If you're rotating an object and you hold the shift key down, it'll constrain it to 15 or 45-degree increments. And if you are dragging something, hold the shift key, it constrains it to horizontal and vertical. But if you are moving an object like this and you're using the arrow keys to nudge one at a time, you hold the shift key, it'll multiply that. I think it's a factor of 10, but I'm not exactly sure. So that's a little bit tidbit thrown in for free because I think most of you know that. But consider using the selection to work through your stack of objects.